Yeah.
Yeah, can you give some insight if the Secretary has given any calls or spoken to any of his counterparts around the world as to, either reassure them on the transition or how the U.S. policy is going to change or be impacted? Could you give us some any information you have on these calls?
He has had a number of calls over the past 24 hours, and without reading out any of those specifically, I will say generally, the message he has had to them has been the same message that you've heard me deliver just in the past 5 or 10 minutes, however long I've been up here, and that's that we are going to pursue the policies that we are advancing when it comes to the Middle East, when it comes to the Indo-Pacific, when it comes to supporting Ukraine, and of course the many other policies when it comes to trying to advance stability in Haiti and trying to reach a ceasefire in Sudan, many of the other hotspots we're dealing with around the world. And I think they all have heard from us privately what they see publicly, what you saw from the President of the United States today, that we are committed to a peaceful, successful transition. That is a commitment that we take seriously. It's part of our oath it's a part of how we interpret our oath of office. It's part of how we interpret our duty to the American people. When it comes to how you frame the question about making reassurances to allies or partners about the policies of a future administration, that's not something we can do. It's not something we would do. We would never presume to speak for an incoming administration because President-elect was elected by the American public. He has the right to make his own decisions. He will make his own decisions. So we will speak on what we believe are the right policies that we have set, and we'll make clear what we believe is in the long-term interests of the United States. But the incoming president will make his own decisions. And here's the thing: as I said in response to the previous question, these countries are used to dealing with the United States. They understand that we have elections every 4 years, and they understand that there are changes in policy that flow as a result of those elections. There were significant changes in policy 4 years ago when President Biden took office. And without speaking to what those may be, because it wouldn't be appropriate for me to do that, I couldn't possibly speak for another administration. I think everyone well understands that's how democracies work.
You don't care to share any of these particular readouts?
We may have calls that we read out over the coming. We may have calls that we read out over the coming hours through our normal process. But I just meant when I speak to this kind of general conversation, I didn't want to say with respect to any particular foreign minister. Yeah.
Are we talking just to have a sense of really working the phones, or is it just
Just had a number of calls. I would look for us to be reading out calls over the coming days. Yeah.
Thanks. On these calls, can you say who the Secretary is now liaising with in terms of who his counterpart is with Israel, given that there is a new Israeli defense minister? Does he have any communication yet with Israel Katz? And can you give a bit more details on whether he's had a conversation with the Israeli defense minister since he switched roles?
He has not yet spoken with the new defense minister since he assumed his current role 2 days ago. As you know, Israel Katz was the foreign minister. Before that, he met with the foreign minister on one of our previous trips to Israel. The secretary has conversations with not a fairly wide range, but an extensive range of Israeli counterparts. Of course, he meets with the prime minister when we're in the region, and he talks at times with the minister for strategic affairs. He talked to the previous defense minister. I'm sure he will talk to the current defense minister in the coming days, but he hasn't in the 2 days since he took the job.
Okay, and